I mean, I can go on talking about this, and I was just gonna take it back, right? Like, so speaking about uh, tools, resources that people can use. Of course, it's not. I think this is the biggest. This is the biggest challenge people have. Oh, I mean, I have an idea, right? And I know people need it. What's the next step? What to? I don't have. I don't have capital. What tools can I utilize to grow my business or to nurture my plan or to? It's just basically that. If maybe you have tips that you can share, like tools that you can use. Of course, I mean, social media is one of those tools, but like, of course, you've been doing this for a while now. You probably can identify. So, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to touch a bit on a few things you said. So, there are a lot of problems around us, right? A lot. And the truth is, we cannot solve all of those problems.
Mm-hmm.
There are too many problems. If you just sit and look, it's uncountable.
Yeah.
But the one that we think resonates with us, the one that we think it's achievable, I think that's where this whole SMART goals comes in. Where it should be smart, measurable, achievable, realistic, and some sort of timely, right?
Yeah.
So back to your question, Chris. You don't need millions of dollars to start your own thing, right? You don't need millions of dollars. Just start small and then you scale. And the good thing about it now, there are lots of platforms available, like the one you just pointed out, social media, and branding. This is something I wanted to touch on a bit before going into some of the platforms. Branding is very important. We are just starting. You don't have to be a massive agency before you brand your agency. Can even be a clothing brand like Gratitude. That's what it's doing, right?
Yeah, that is a pros, man.
So people are driven towards aesthetics.
Yeah.
So if people are saying that this guy, he has his thing in place, he has his logo, even his color, his white and long, and it's unique.
Yeah.
People want to associate themselves with you. Even brand himself. They want to associate with
just
you.
a bit. So with regard to that question, let me just narrow it down so that we have like a specific example that we can like even apply the concepts of branding, which I believe is like really, really important, because as important as having a unique value proposition. So that's just like business lingo for like what makes you special in the market. Branding is also one of those things. So there's several ideas there are several business ideas that don't require a lot of capital, at least in my understanding. So several, but like for the sake of like for the sake of answering this question, and an example that purely depend on the individual is freelancing. Yeah, so using freelancing, right? Okay, freelancing and content creation. How would you answer that question? Like, what tools can people avail themselves, especially to content creation? Because I think that's something that most everyone with a gadget can do.
Okay, I'll add one more tool to that, and that is dropshipping. So with dropshipping, you might just need a few dollars to build your website, right? But nowadays you have Shopify. You have I think WooCommerce.
Yeah.
These platforms basically they give you like 3 months free, and you pay just $1 also. So the way this platform works, basically you make sure you have your website, you set up your online store. Your worry is just to make sure that what your customer is receiving, it's in value to what they are paying, right? So you have nothing to do with the inventory, you have nothing to do with the shipping. So you find a very reliable supplier, and the supplier is the one that is doing it. All you have to do is just sit back, and then someone put in order, you receive it, and then the supplier ship to that person. So, and to be honest, right, before when we never had this social media, internet, things was a bit complex. But now social media or the internet in general has narrowed and make everything so much easier that you don't have to spend too much in order to generate revenue, like with the drop shipping stuff. So with that, you would basically be paying for just a website if you wanted to be a long-term thing, and then the rest of the commission or whatever you get it from that product. Because if you selling a product that costs, let's say the original price is $1, and you're selling that product for $5, you're getting a $4 profit, and then you buy the exact product for the original price. Same with the social media agency. You can start your own social media agency. You look in your community. There are a lot of businesses that need people. And you know the thing about it, right? For a lot of businesses, it's easier to do how you call it, artwork post.
Mm-hmm.
They find it difficult to do a video post or video content. So most of these big brands, you'll be surprised. A lot of these big brands, that's why they prefer partnering with a brand influencer.
Mm-hmm.
So that person can create the content for them. So a lot of them outsource. Most of these guys, they don't have the time to create the video content.
Mm.
And it's already clear that video content is what performs the most. So this is something you can tap into. You look in your community, look for brands that are already existing, and they are making names. You know, you create your own social media agency. You can register it, so at least they can be a bit formal. Register your agency. You come up with services. You can do SEO service. You can do content production. You can do social media management. And you have a price tag to each of these services. This is something you don't have to spend anything on. So where you will spend, maybe getting resources to build your knowledge on how to run the agency.
Yeah.
Because this is a whole different thing.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is, now you don't have to pay for a lot of these resources. YouTube has provided everything.
Free content.
It's free.
Yeah.
It's 100% free. I was even surprised, even with this animation, motion graphic, most of these things. You don't have to waste your time on it. There are a lot of templates.
Yeah. True.
So that's where the scaling will come in. When you reach a certain level and you want to scale the business, then you start to pay for some of these tools. Or maybe you go hire someone. For example, if you see the business is growing, like with the social media agency, if you see the business is growing, you try to hire people who can help you to manage most of these businesses that you are doing. Gradually, things can improve. Same with the drop shipping. So if you are doing drop shipping and it's just you, now you want the business to scale and get bigger. Now instead of you depending on the supplier so as to speed up the shipping process, now you have to create your own inventory. Where you would buy the product, keep it, then when someone put in for the product, you ship it to the person. When you're first starting with the drop shipping, right, what you can do is just focus on a single product. For example, you could be selling the tablet. As you progress, you bring in a different range of product. Maybe you're selling the tablet, you're selling the phone, you're selling the AirPod. You know, now you have different products that people can buy from. Like that, a business can easily grow. So there are lots of business ideas, a lot that you don't have to spend 5 cents on. And most of these guys then on social media, most of these influencers, this is something that they are tapping into. A lot of them.
Beautiful. I think I'll throw it back to Nesta.
Please.
I think you're running a clothing brand. Yeah. So this is that's like an industry that's like really competitive.
It's very
really
competitive.
And I guess like making it, I would say would really require you to understand your niche and clearly communicate your your brand message or your brand identity, because I think that's a market that's very brand oriented. So like for people that are, because I think that's I think we probably notice in our country, Zambia, most people when at least when there some capital, that's the one thing they usually jump to, like
t-shirts.
Oh.
Everyone is printing t-shirts, man. I said everyone is printing t-shirts, man. Archie got swag clothing brand. Archie got swag apparel,
so like